The dark side of tourism, how it fuels global inequality. Welcome to an in-depth examination of how the tourism industry, a beacon of economic promise, paradoxically contributes to global inequality. This video delves into the complexities of tourism's impact on local economies and communities, urging us to rethink our role within this global dynamic. Tourism is often celebrated for its ability to generate substantial economic growth and foster cultural exchanges. Developing countries in particular are enamored by the billions it injects into their economies and the multitude of jobs it creates. A flourishing tourism industry can transform a nation, promising an allure of prosperity and development. However, there is another side to this narrative that remains largely overshadowed by glittering promises. Beneath the surface, tourism harbors a less visible dynamic that exacerbates global inequality. Despite its apparent benefits, many local communities find themselves grappling with exploitation and marginalization. The discrepancy between perceived and real benefits sparks an urgent conversation about who truly gains from this robust industry. Tourism's contribution to national GDPs is undeniable, yet its fairness in wealth distribution is questionable. Often, the bulk of profits ends up in the hands of foreign investors, leaving local communities to scrap for minimal benefits. This stark imbalance raises crucial questions about the economic model underpinning the tourism sector. Is it genuinely equitable, or does it widen the gap between the rich and the poor? Take, for instance, the rise of luxury resorts in developing nations like Indonesia and the Maldives. While these establishments claim to bolster local economies, they frequently inflate property values, compelling residents to leave their ancestral homes. Displaced locals find themselves without the resources or opportunities promised by tourism-driven economic growth. This showcases the harsh reality behind glossy brochures and alluring websites. Megatourism projects, often heavily funded by foreign entities, further illustrate the detrimental impacts on socio-economic structures. Governments may prioritize these large-scale developments, disregarding local people's needs. Such projects promise jobs, but often fail to deliver fair wages or secure employment, deepening existing economic disparities. Tourism disrupts traditional economies by fostering dependency on a volatile industry. As locals serve an industry whose spoils they can't access, there's an increasing imbalance between job creation and equitable earnings. This serves to destabilize local markets and exacerbate economic inequalities, demonstrating a clear skew in tourism benefiting models. Cultural representation suffers under the weight of tourism's commercialization. Rich traditions are commodified, losing authenticity as they're repackaged for foreign consumption. This cultural erosion strips communities of their unique identities, paving the way for exploitation and misrepresentation. Tourism's footprint extends deeply into environmental realms, often leading to severe degradation of natural ecosystems. Over-tourism takes an exhaustive toll on local environments, with cases of deforestation, pollution, and wildlife disruptions becoming widespread. While tourism sells the beauty of untouched landscapes, it often contributes significantly to their destruction. Personal stories from locals shed light on the human cost of tourism's dark side. Workers in the industry voice their struggles with inequality, living under the weight of an economy that does not cater to their welfare. Perspectives from those who experience the consequences firsthand amplify the urgency for change. We turn to prominent economists and scholars to further dissect tourism's paradox. Their analyses reveal how the current tourism model entrenches existing economic disparities, exacerbating both local and global inequalities. By understanding these imbalances, we begin to identify pathways towards equitability. Amidst these challenges, grassroots movements emerge as beacons of hope, reclaiming agency from exploitative tourism practices. Initiatives that prioritize sustainability and community development show that it's possible to harness tourism's potential without compromising local interests. Success stories, such as community-led eco-tourism projects, highlight the viability of models that align economic benefits with social fairness. Sustainable tourism practices represent a promising alternative to traditional models. By addressing both economic and social inequalities, these initiatives provide a framework for more responsible tourism. Such practices advocate for equitable resource distribution, fair wages, and the respectful representation of cultures, shifting the perception of tourism from exploitative to supportive. The role of government policies becomes significant in driving tourism toward sustainability. To ensure a fairer distribution of benefits, policies must emphasize community development and resource protection. Recommendations for such reforms include enforcing legal structures that hold global investors accountable and promote transparency and profit sharing. Beyond policy-driven change, personal action plays a crucial role. Consumers hold the power to influence the industry's direction through responsible choices. By actively engaging with local cultures and economies, travelers can transform into allies of equitable tourism, making informed decisions that support sustainable practices. Corporations must also acknowledge their imperative role in fostering sustainable tourism. Emphasizing fair practices and sustainability, companies have a responsibility to ensure that tourism benefits are shared justly. Bad practices, such as underpaying local employees or undercutting environmental regulations, should be identified and reformed to reflect corporate accountability. Looking ahead, the future of global tourism hangs in the balance. As we navigate these discussions, possible scenarios unfold, considering whether tourism will evolve with or without reform. Embracing sustainable models will determine whether tourism becomes a tool for equitable growth or further division. Therefore, understanding the dark side of tourism is not merely an academic exercise, but a crucial step towards action. It invites all stakeholders, governments, corporations, tourists, and locals to reconsider tourism's role in our economies and our lives. By advocating for sustainable choices and policies, we propel tourism towards a more equitable and responsible future. In conclusion, while the promise of tourism remains alluring, its darker facets demand our scrutiny. As we grapple with the impacts of inequality, addressing tourism's role becomes essential. Together, we can recreate a tourism industry where economic growth benefits all, ensuring a fairer world for the generations to come. With gratitude for all those who contribute to this essential dialogue, we close our exploration of tourism's dual-edged impact on global inequality. If you found this video interesting, remember subscribing to this channel and sharing. See you in the next video.